Hi guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about some things I really don't like about the 2002 Firebird V6. So, the most prominent one, and it is right at the front, is the headlights. While they look really cool, they don't function very well. This one's had to have some repairs, and it has to have some repairs again to the headlights, so it's just kind of a pain in the butt, but I'd say it's worth it for a car that looks this cool. Other things that kind of bug me about the car, it's the paint quality isn't very good. Now this is a vast improvement over the mid-90s GM paint. I think GM changed their paint in 1999, so if you notice, the 99 and more current cars have a lot better paint than the mid-90s stuff. But I mean, this still isn't good by modern standards. As you can see here, you got a little bubbling action going on there. It's not an ideal situation, but as you can see from this car, it shines up pretty nice still, so that's cool. Another thing I don't like about it is is really just the interior quality. Interior quality is not very good. I think the interior looks really cool, and for me being 6'1" and quite heavy, I fit in it quite decent for a sports car, but stuff like this, very common problem. The door panel's cracking in this same spot. Dash pads usually crack. This one's not, surprisingly, but you can see the interior's like faded unevenly, and it is what it is. That door panel's cracked as well. Headliners have problems. This one's fine, lucky me, but interior quality's not very good. They rattle a lot, especially the leather seat cars. My Trans Am has leather seats, and that one rattles all kinds of stuff, but the cloth seats and carpet and whatnot, it quiets down the rattles quite a bit, but it still rattles, The hardtops on these cars, I think they look kind of goofy, actually. I think these cars look a lot better with T-tops. Then this car being black, it's not as big of a deal because it doesn't stand out, but when the cars are red and white and silver, it looks weird with a hardtop to me. So the T-tops, or even just the black roof, I think improves the car a lot. These are known to bubble up and you have to replace the whole panel, but hopefully it doesn't happen to this one. Another thing I don't like about it is there's a trunk release right here. It's that yellow button, and sometimes you have to push it 4 or 5 times to get it to pop the trunk up, and a lot of times you'll hit it and the trunk will pop up, but it won't pop up all the way, so then you got to walk all the way around to the back or the front of the car and then pop it again, and it's just kind of a pain. So a lot of times you're better off just using the key for the keyhole, but if your car's already running, that's kind of a pain too. But another thing I don't like about this car is the spoiler. Now, my Trans Am, my 01 Trans Am, has a completely different rear bumper and a rear spoiler, and I think it looks way better than this one. Not that this one looks awful, but when you have a Trans Am that just looks that sweet, and then you get this one, the back end just looks funky to me. It just doesn't look right. Now the front bumper is different as well. The Trans Am front bumper I think looks a little better, but this one's not bad. I don't have a problem with this one. But I definitely have a problem with that spoiler and bumper on the base model Firebird. But other stuff I don't like about it are the T5 with a V6 is pretty good, but the synchros and stuff just seem kind of weak. Because going in reverse and stuff, it'll grind. Parking brake, it's not the strongest in the world. Another thing I hate about this Firebird is the power antenna, because if it's covered in snow or dirty or not oiled properly, it'll get stuck. That happened to my Trans Am, and I ended up just unplugging the antenna. Unplugging, the antenna motor, because it wasn't worth it to me to fix it, because I usually just listen to CDs anyway. But I found that very irritating. So power antenna, while I think it looks cool, it's definitely not convenient, especially when it breaks. And if you're the kind of person who listens to FM, AM radio, whatever, it's kind of a pain to replace that motor. You got to drill out rivets and all that kind of crap. Another thing I hate about this Firebird is the window motors. Now factory, they're really slow, and I don't think there's a whole lot you can do to fix that. But when the window motor goes out, it's a big job to fix it. My 95 Trans Am, the window motor went out, and that was a 12-hour repair for a window motor. For comparison, the window motor in my Buick LeSabre took me about 45 minutes. So 12 hours for a window motor is a ridiculous. And that's not just me, plenty of other people, 9, 10, 11 hours. So, it's not that I'm completely incompetent. I'm definitely incompetent, but I'm not that incompetent. But no, the interior layout I like. It's just the quality of the materials, the rattling, the plastics cracking. It's just, it kind of sucks. No, you know, keep in mind this car is 20 years old, and this interior was designed in 1993, so it's not exactly modern, but I like it. The quality sucks. Now we go under the hood. Other stuff I don't like about the 4th gen, it's kind of a love-hate actually, is how far back that motor sits. Now what that does is it makes this car handle fantastic for, you know, a 2002 Firebird. So it handles great, but it's really, really difficult to do anything under there. Now on the LS1 and LT1 cars, this is even worse. This V6 makes those cars seem ridiculous. But even on the V6 here, it's kind of tricky to get to stuff. You know, spark plugs, or if the intake gaskets go out, whatever. It is kind of a pain. So that's a shame to me. But you know, my LS1, it's even worse than this. So it's not ideal, not ideal at all. But you know, the oil filter is easily accessible and all that kind of stuff, so it's not all bad, but definitely not good. Engine being pushed back makes maintenance much more difficult, but it does handle really well. So you win some, you lose some. But that's really all I don't like about the Firebird. You know, I mean, it rides a little stiff, especially when the shocks start to go out. My Trans Am, I bought new shocks, but I haven't put them on yet. It's still on the originals, and it rides like a skateboard. So in Michigan, when the roads are really bad, that's not any fun. This one doesn't ride too bad, so I'm not too displeased with that. But the live axle, I like it and don't like it. I like it because when you're in a straight line and you punch it, you really take off, and as long as you got decent tires, you can hook up really well. But I don't like it because over bumps, the whole rear of the car feels like it's gonna fly. And I think I actually have gotten air a couple of times, not intentionally. And so that's a little unnerving to say the least. You know, and this car doesn't have traction control. My Trans Am does. This one doesn't. So when the back end starts sliding, I mean, it really starts sliding. And you know, even if one wheel just starts sliding, the other ones usually follow shortly after. But yeah, the live axle, I like it from a straight line performance standpoint, but from a daily driver going over bump standpoint, I don't like it at all. Benefit of it is it is quite simple. Quite simple and quite easy to repair if need be. And there's tons of them out there. The 10 bolt is on this car. This car is 10 bolt. My Trans Am has a 10 bolt. They're actually the same rear end, with the exception of gears. But you know, the 10 bolts are known to be really, really weak. And now on a 200 horsepower V6 like this one, you're never going to blow it. But on an LS1, they blow real easy. So I'm always careful to be, you know, real nice to it, because I don't want to be replacing the rear end. But yeah, that's really all I don't like about it. Bumper, headlights, interior quality, rear end, antenna, headlights. I already said headlights, didn't I? Yeah, so that's about it, really. Really about all I don't like about it. Thanks for watching.